This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello and welcome to another edition of C2C Rankem. I'm the host, Big B, along with my co-host, the birthday boy, halfway across the world, Tim Hendricks. How you doing?
I'm doing good. After this past weekend, I'm kind of glad both of us are still here. Kind of a tragic weekend if you're a celebrity. Good thing we're not celebrities. We're on C2C, so that means we're not celebrities. So
yeah, no,
that's good to know.
Yeah, it's been if you definitely watch the news and follow history and celebrities. Yeah, it's been a rough week of that, and just glad everybody's okay, and just as the old saying goes, don't take today lightly and hug your loved ones. So all right, so with that being said, so we're going to do some birthdays, and we're going to do a couple dates of people that have passed away. That would be, we're going to do July 17th for your birthday and October 22nd for my birthday. So for people that passed away, not for our birthdays, because we already done those. So we're going to kick off the birthdays with July 2nd. So a couple, about 15 days ago. So let's see here. I got a couple double ups. I'll say that right now.
I've got one double up.
Yeah. So
it's weird where I doubled up though.
What's that?
It's weird. It's weird on who I doubled up on. So it's kind of weird.
Ooh. Okay. All right. So yeah, I will say 3 for sure.
Yeah, I like your 3. I could technically, you know what? I'm going to double up another one because I can do it right here. I can do it right here.
All right. Well, you kick it off with your number 5.
Well, I'm going to start with a double up.
Okay.
And it's just weird. It was the fact is I remember collecting baseball cards, and if it weren't for half of my double up, my newly minted double up, I don't think we would have known more about the steroid scandal until much, much later. If it wasn't for my number 5 A's book called Juiced, I think it would have been another 5 years before we would have actually gotten a little more of the story. And then you find out that he's got a twin brother. I honestly think that the twin brother got signed to Toronto, or which I think was it the Rangers or Toronto, where the brother where the original had the baseball hit off his head and go over.
That was Texas.
That was Texas. Okay. So, but my 1A is part of that, which is really funny because it's hilarious when you know one of them is a Bash brother and he's not a Bash brother with his real brother.
Yeah.
I find out that that the brother sucks at baseball, but still gets drafted because of who his brother is. And the funny thing is, I had the rookie card of the brother. I know if anybody's paying attention, I don't know which brother I'm talking about at this point because I've said brother like I'm Hulk Hogan in the mid 80s, where it's brother, everything's brother. But I do have the original. My 5A is the original 40-40 guy, Jose Canseco, and my 5B is his twin brother Ozzy.
Yep. No, I remember those. I think I honestly had that rookie card. I think I had the upper deck rookie card of
I had the
Ozzy.
score.
Yeah. So my number 5, couple, I should say young actresses, but actually one I saw when she was pretty young, and then the other one most recently came on the scene early 2000s or mid 2000s in the musical, the movie High School Musical, and they pretty got, you know, well, one doesn't have her stuff together, but the other one seems to have her stuff together. But 1A is, or 5A is Lindsay Lohan, and the 5B is Ashley Tisdale.
When you said actress, I went, oh, I know who I passed up. I'm going, because it's really strange about who my number 4 is. And you said actress. I went, wow, he really put her on.
All right, okay. You're number 4.
My number 4 is, I just kind of mentioned, I've got an actress. For most people who remember watching the movie called The Wolf of Wall Street, they know exactly a certain scene that put this woman on the made her really not a household name, but made her a men, let's just say a fantasy for men, because of a certain thing she does in The Wolf of Wall Street. But she became huge on the scene for the rest of us comic book people when she played Harley Quinn in the Suicide Squad movie, which I thought was brilliant. And funny thing is, the day that the first picture of the Suicide Squad came out was the day that I was getting my tattoo of Harley Quinn on my left shoulder. So I thought it was kind of weird. But the rest of the world took notice after she played the, I'm going to say this very carefully without people getting confused that I'm not saying something perverted, the titular character in the movie Barbie. My number 4 is Margot Robbie.
Okay. All right. So we have 2 sayings on here. You know, just one of them, or you got to be the first to something. So I'm going to use the first to something. And this is the first prime minister of the city or country Congo, and that is Patrice Lumumba, Lumumba.
That's your number. That's your number 4. Okay.
That's my number 4. You're number 3.
Well, I'm going to steal your one of your 2 sayings, which is you have to be first at something, and to have the first African American Supreme Court justice. My number 3 is Thurgood Marshall.
Missed that one. Okay.
He had a big picture. He had a huge picture.
I must have. Oh, you know what? Yeah. All right. So my number 3.
It's the other phrase.
It's the other phrase. Yep. The phrase that pays. I got the twins. I got Ozzy and Jose Canseco, and it is funny how, you know, Jose, you know, because they looked identical. I mean, maybe not size wise, but it's just weird how Ozzy did not have half the talent that Canseco did.
God, it was terrible.
But no, but I outside of the Bash Brothers stuff and the 40 for 40, I think he's going to mostly be remembered baseball wise for getting that home run knocked off the top of his head, which was still hilarious.
I'm still thinking it's Ozzy, and I'm thinking Jose wished it was Ozzy too. Yeah,
exactly. You're number 2.
My number 2 is my other double up. This is the original double up.
Okay.
I'm going with a wrestler. I'm going with 2 wrestlers. One of the wrestlers just had their tagline stolen by another wrestler in AEW who screwed it up, mind you, from what I've seen and what I've read. And the other one, you know, how I'm called the Prime Oos, and one of his tag team partners is Rikishi. I'm actually follow my 2B on Facebook, and he actually isn't bad to respond back. I almost got a chance to see him last year in Italy because he was coming over here to do a show. My 2B is Scotty Too Hottie, and my 2A is the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. The guy who says that Goldberg couldn't wrestle himself out of a paper bag if you had opened it for him and let him walk out. The most dangerous wrestler that he's ever wrestled. My number 2 is Bret Hart.
Met him.
All right. Well, the phrase that pays comes up again. My number 2. I did see Scotty Tuati. I didn't add him. But, yep, number 2, Bret Hart. Met the guy a few weeks ago at work. Got his autograph on a couple cards. So, yeah. No, very nice guy. All right, you're number 1.
So we're at 3. So I'm kind of hoping.
Well, we're at 3, kind of.
Yeah. Kind of 3.
Yeah.
So, when you're called the king, you have to be the king for a reason. Everybody used to look up to my number 1, the guy. I remember, what was it? I saw a box of cards open. What was it? NASCAR Immaculate, and his 1 of 1 is an autograph with a cut swatch of blue jeans. But the guy is always known to drive the STP number 43. One of the original families of NASCAR racing. My number 1 is the king himself, Richard Petty.
Yep, number 1, Richard Petty. I saw him early, and I left him off the list for a little bit just to kind of see where I wanted to put him. And then saw Bret Hart. I'm like, well, that's 1, 2 right there. So, yeah, Richard Petty. Yeah, like you said, you call the king, you got to be on the list somewhere. So,
did you? I have to ask the question. Did you have Dave Thomas, the founder of Wendy's, on your list?
No, I actually overlooked that. No, that would have been a good curveball one.
I had him number 6.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. So let's move on to the 14th of July. So 3 days ago? So let's see here. I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna go high on this one. I'm gonna go 4.
You're gonna go 4, huh?
You're going high.
You're gonna go 4. You can really high. Let's see.
Well, that's not a good shot at my 4 then.
4. Is it 4 spots or 4 people? You doubled up anywhere?
No, I did not double up anywhere. It's 4.
I doubled up. Okay. I doubled up. So, and I have a curveball.
Okay. All right.
I like.
Well, I might have a curveball too. So
I give your 4 a shot.
Okay. All right. Well, my number 5 is my curveball, and we don't land the same curveball too many times, so it'll be interesting. So this is a singer-songwriter, I believe. And once I see once I say the name of the song, I know it'll pop into everybody's head. We'll start singing it. The song is "This Land Is Your Land," and the singer-songwriter of it is Woody Guthrie.
I saw the name. I didn't put him on.
Oh.
I like this one.
All right. You're number 5.
All right. I went with something we really don't have most of the time, and that's an animator.
Ooh.
An American animator, and is one half of our childhood when you realize who he's drawn. He's drawn Tom and Jerry, Scooby-Doo, a lot of the big names. But my number 5 is William Hanna of the Hanna-Barbera Company.
Ooh, missed that one. That's a good one. Yeah, I think the only other creator we've ever had animated would be Walt Disney on any of our lists.
I think we had Stan Lee at one point too.
Yeah, maybe. All right, my number 4, we're going into the ring. We're going into a guy who, him and his brother will say, ECW originals, WWE, TNA. I don't think they were in WCW, and if they were in there very shortly. But the founder of the Aces and Eights, when he changed his name, and that's one Bubba Ray Dudley, or a.k.a. Bully Ray Dudley, however you look at it.
They were East.
You're number 4.
My number 4, I'm going to the Diamond.
Yep.
The only guy that has been known, and the funny thing is, Nolan Ryan was a pitcher for the New York Mets. He was a pitcher for the Houston Astros. Has probably a couple hits in Major League Baseball, but he is the only person to get 4 hits in a game off a Chicago White Sox in succession. My number 4 is the person he got the hits off of. Problem is, he didn't do it with a baseball bat. He didn't do it with a ball. He did it with a fist. I've been lucky enough to see my number 4 play for the Chicago White Sox. But he at one point had the hitting streak in NCAA baseball up until 2012, I want to say 2012, 2013 and that kid from FIU. My number 4 is Robin Ventura.
All right. My number 3. We don't talk politics too much, and when we do, it's just because they're on the list. They're former president, the 41st president, Gerald Ford.
It's the 38th president.
John F. Kennedy.
38th? Oh, why did I write down 41st?
He's the 41st vice president.
Oh, 38th president. Okay. I saw the 41st, so you know how well I know my history.
That's all right. I didn't read. The funny thing is, everybody thinks he's from Michigan and he's from Iowa.
All right.
So my number 3.
Yep.
I'm going to the gridiron.
Okay.
You have to be good when they give you your own island. And the New York Jets everybody gave this New York Jet cornerback an island. I'm starting to wonder if they're going to give Sauce Gardner his island in New York, right there in Manhattan, called Sauce Island. To me, I think one of the top 5 cornerbacks of all time. Absolutely. I hated when my teams played against them, but it was great when the teams I hated play against them, and nobody threw at them like they did Dion and Darryl Green. But my number 3 is Revis Island himself, Darrelle Revis.
No, that was he's on the field. He cut off half the field. So my number 2, probably one of this generation's top 5 boxers, depending on who you talk to. He might be top 5 all time, again, depending on who you talk to, and that's Conor McGregor.
I don't have him.
Wasn't he really young?
Don't have him.
All right, your number 2.
Honest. My number 2. Well, I'll give you half the phrase that pays, because my number 2, I had to double them up because they both came from ECW. So I thought it was necessary, especially after the pipe bomb that my 2B decided to do on Monday Night Raw. Go ahead and fire me. You keep Jim Ross around. I thought that was a great. I don't know if that's still to this second. I still don't know if that was a work promo or a shoot promo. But 2 ECW originals. My number 2A is your number 4 in Bubba Ray Dudley. But my number 2B is the voice of ECW, Joey Styles.
Okay, I'm like, who did I miss there? I saw Joey Styles on there. I did. Well, we're at number 1. All right. The phrase that pays, I have him on there. Just the fact of the 4 hits, the little brawl as a rookie. I don't know why you charge the guy because he hit you, and you want to make a name for yourself. That's fine, but you look bad when how old was he? 40 some? Nolan Ryan.
40. He's younger than I am now. Let's just say that.
No, Nolan Ryan.
Yeah, he was younger than I am now.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're
Not
a
much.
upcoming rookie, 23, 24.
22, 23.
Yeah. Robin
Half the age,
Ventura.
half of the age of Nolan Ryan. Smart
Yeah.
move, bud.
And the funny thing is they always showed that clip in Texas, but they modified it when the White Sox came in because Ventura. They didn't want to, offend him or whatever. So
And the funny thing is, I think Ventura originally is from Texas.
yeah, I think so.
I think he grew up in Texas.
All right, you're number one.
Well, we'll go ahead and throw the phrase that pays up there again, because my number one is your number three. The 38th president, Gerald Ford.
Yep. All right.
No Darrell Revis.
No. I honestly, I'll admit, I probably overlooked him. So.
He wasn't a big
Yeah.
one, so I was like, oh,
Yeah.
might sneak through.
I know that's kind of surprising. I figured he would have been. So
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the 21st. Birthday's in about 4 days.
I'll be honest, I tripled up on one.
Wow. All right. Well, I try to go big. I'm gonna play a little safe. I'm gonna go 2.
1, 2, 3.
And I'm going to guarantee our number 1.
Oh, I guarantee our number 1. I guarantee if I'm right, I can guarantee our number. No, because he wasn't a big one. So this might. You might have our number 2. You might have my number 2. I'll say 3 just to be safe. Okay. And I put and the funny thing is my triple up deals with somebody that is the father of a person, the father of a tag team partner of somebody else on one of our other shows that doesn't like.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Wonder who I missed. All right. Go ahead. You just kick it off with number 5.
All right, we're gonna go right to the wrestling ring.
All
My
right.
triple up is in the wrestling ring. I'm gonna get the 2 out of the way first. I'm gonna get 2 out of the 3 out of the way. I'm getting rid of Giant Silva and Sean Stasiak out of the way.
Okay.
But I'm going to go with the father of a member of RK Bro. It's like, yeah, you're confused. No, it's not Matt Riddle's dad because I couldn't tell you who the heck Matt Riddle's dad is. But we have a third generation. Technically, he would be a second generation because Brandy is the third generation. My number 2 is one Cowboy Bob Orton. No. And then my site.
No.
Isn't he still alive?
Cowboy Bob Orton was born November 10th.
No, it's the old man. It's Grandpa.
It's the grandpa. Okay.
It's Grandpa Orton. Holy smokes!
I was like, did I really miss Cowboy? Yes.
No, it's the Grandpa. It's the patriarch. It's the first generation of the third generation.
Too,
and he died July 16, 2006. So he missed his.
I was just gonna say that.
He missed his birthday.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so, I'm good then. I've saved myself. Holy yeah.
Oh, you kind of saved yourself, yeah.
Kind of saved myself.
All right. My number 5, I think this is the weekend of the US Open, I think, or is it the Masters, I think it's US Open this weekend. So I got a golfer on here. Anyways, I got I believe it was a 7-time winner. No, I don't, not a 7-time winner.
No, it was in June. The US Open was in June.
Okay, so then it must be the Masters this week.
No, that was too. Yeah, it was June 13th. It was week. I think it was not the 23rd of.
Oh, anyway, we'll look that up. But I got golfer Gene Leiter.
And I'm playing.
Yeah, Masters was the 24th of April. It was 11th and 14th of April.
Okay.
PGA, not PHA, you dummy. PGA.
Yeah, U.S. Open's August. Okay.
Major tournaments.
So it is the Masters.
Is it the Open? It's not the Open.
Maybe it's just the Open. Maybe it is just
British Championship. The British Open.
Yeah,
It's the Open this week.
Yeah, it's the Open this weekend.
It starts tomorrow.
Yep. All right, you're number 4.
My number 4. You know, we've got a saying on the show, and we've said it a couple times. If you're going to be on the show, you got to be good or you got to be first. And the person that gets blamed for Waco, Texas, and then nobody. The funny thing is like everybody's like, oh, but it was David Koresh who was to blame. Yeah, well, if you talk to the Republicans, it's somebody else. And I'm going to bring up that someone else. Bill Clinton, you know how Bill Clinton loved his women, decided to put the one woman that looks almost nothing like a woman. We're getting canceled today, just so you know at this point. But if you look up Janet Reno, Janet Reno is the first female attorney general, and she does not look like a woman.
Okay.
So my number 4 is Janet Reno.
All right. So my number 4 will go to a singer, and I kind of just threw him on there, not just because he's a singer, just because of his name. And you know, I know the name through TV shows, movies, stuff like that.
I know.
My number 4 is Cat Stevens.
I was thinking Kenny Rogers.
I almost put him on. I was like, should I or shouldn't I?
All right. You're number 3.
Your 3 here might be we might be pulling at straws at this point for 3.
Yep.
My number 3 was the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1954. Tragically passed away by his own hand in 1961. I have been lucky enough to have been to look at his house in Key West. Is weird because right across the street is a museum of a Spanish galleon of the Atocha. I have pictures of a couple dancing in the yard. But my number 3 is probably the best author to come out of the United States, and I know people are going to put Stephen King and Mark Twain and this, that, and I don't care. My number 3 is the author of The Old Man and the Sea, Ernest Hemingway.
Yeah, 3's out the door. All right. My number 3 is a former quarterback.
Well, yeah, definitely 3's way out the door.
I always get them mixed up because I can't remember which one played for Houston and which one played for the Raiders. But I'm going with number 3, David Carr.
David played for the Houston.
Okay.
And then Derek played for the Saints too.
Yeah, that's true. Yep, he sure does. So yeah. All right, you're number 2.
If that's what he calls playing. My number 2 is a former Marine Corps drill instructor. Oh, don't worry. You'll realize that I might have you still.
Okay.
But most people don't remember him for being a military drill instructor. They remember him for him being a deputy in a TV show that Andy had to make sure that the only bullet that this deputy had was in his pocket. One Mr. Barney Fife. But they also remember him for the Apple Dumpling Gang, but he also is also known as the neighbor on Three's Company. My number 2 is Don Knotts.
I missed that one.
Hope you didn't miss number 1 at this point.
No, no. If I missed number 1,
this will kill your Tony Gwynn.
I don't know. That Tony Gwynn one was specifically though that
one
hurt. My number 2 is I don't follow the WNBA that well, but I know a lot of people do. Would probably put her as one of the GOATs. I mean, she could probably be in the GOAT talk of the WNBA. Yeah. I know our esteemed colleague Colin has interviewed her and has somewhat of a business relationship per se with her. Tamika Catchings. I
hated her in Tennessee. Respect every second of her. She played with Anna DeForge at Indiana.
All right. All right. You're number one. Let's do it.
Legitimately, if I didn't have this person number one on my list, I would honestly would have canceled myself. To me, I'm still to this second. I still kick myself for not getting the tickets to go see him live in Orlando. My brother is probably kicking me for not getting them. And after my dad said you should have bought the tickets when they were for the show and the meet and greet, and I told him I really couldn't because they were $300 a piece. Dad says, no, it'd have been fine. No, it wouldn't have been. But to understand, and the funny thing is, you brought up Shelley Duvall and watching. You got to go back and watch Popeye again.
Mhm.
Well, when you realize that the first starring role of this legendary, once in a lifetime actor is Popeye. The first time he's actually seen on TV is a little one-off on a TV series called Happy Days. To me, the light is still the earth, and the light in Hollywood and the rest of the world is still dark because the left is not as hard anymore. It's not as free as it used to be. My number one is Robin Williams.
Yeah, I don't know what more to say, but yeah, the voice of the genie in Aladdin. I'm trying to think of the army movie. He was a good.
Top Gun Maverick.
What the heck's that movie?
Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah, Good Morning Vietnam, Mr. Doubtfire.
The names are just the movie names are just astronomical.
Nope, and yeah, no, he was. If he was not on, I mean, there's nobody on this list in the date that could have topped him. So,
Nope.
All right, so we ended up with one. All right, not a good show in there, but whatever. All right, so let's go to the 30th of July. This is gonna be tough. I'm gonna play safe. I think we got two for sure.
1 and 2. I want to see where you put. I want to see what I think you might have 1 and 2 flipped if against mine, but I'm not sure.
We'll see. But yeah, I'll go 2.
I'll go. I like your 2, but I think 3, and I kind of got a homer pick ish.
Okay. All right. So I can kick it off, and I will start with. She was.
There's already a bad sign.
I know she was in a couple movies.
Oh shoot! And I just took her off.
I'm trying to think of the movie, but I know she was 1/6 of the Friends.
Yeah, I just took her off.
Yeah, and then that's one Phoebe Buffay, Lisa Kudrow.
I literally took her off.
All right.
I'm like, I'm gonna take her off just so I can move into my curveball spot. And
all right, well, go with your curveball then.
All right, well, it is my curveball. And my number 5, it's kind of a homer. Like I said, it's kind of a homer pick. The best thing that ever happened to Milwaukee Brewers was when he sold to the Antanagios. But he is, and most Green Bay Packers don't realize this, but he is on their board of directors. Not Mark Antanagio, but my number 5. The guy who is considered the reason why Major League Baseball is terrible, especially after having an all-star game in your own home stadium, and you let it end in a tie. Yeah. And the reason, and the Jose Canseco thing ended up under his watch. The greatest thing that could have happened to Milwaukee was the fact is that he bought the Seattle Pilots and moved them to the Brewers, made them the Brewers in Milwaukee. That's the only thing he's ever done in the Milwaukee organization was move Seattle to Milwaukee. And I had no understanding until maybe in the last year that there used to be a team called the Milwaukee Brewers before before the Seattle Pilots moved to Milwaukee, and they became the Baltimore Orioles. So yeah, in a way, Milwaukee's had enough teams there to suffice themselves, and yet they want to find a way to get Milwaukee to not have a team to move them because they don't think they're a baseball team. Well, that's all right. That's fine. That's why I'm so happy that Mark Antonaggio is now the owner of the Milwaukee Brewers. But the guy that is probably the outside of Bart Giamatti, and now what is it? It's not Adam Silver. Who in the world? Thank
Manfred.
God I don't. Who? Manfred?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Probably still, and yet still probably a better commissioner than the one that I'm about to say. My number 5, Bud Selig.
Yeah, one of the exiled the Twins, and outside that All-Star game in Milwaukee, the best image I can recall from that, outside of fans booing at the end of the game, was and it was almost written, Barry Bonds getting robbed by Torrey Hunter.
Yeah,
that was sweet. So, my number 4 will stay in the diamond. We'll go with a Hall of Famer, 7-time World Series. I think one of the managers, 6 as a player. Casey Stengel.
Casey Stengel?
Yeah, Stengel, yes.
Yeah, I saw him too. I think he was the Yankees for the while. Wasn't he the Yankees manager?
Yeah, but I think he won it with the Giants, I think, or the Mets, I think. I don't want
it. Yeah, you think he won it with the Mets.
All right, you're number 4.
My number 4. Finally won an Oscar for a movie that I thought he should have won a while ago, with Dark Knight. Probably created, and I'm going to piss some people off by what I'm about to say. Probably directed the greatest trilogy of superhero movies known to man, which is called the Dark Knight trilogy. I still don't think he's actually recovered from Heath Ledger passing away before the opening of that film, but gone and did Interstellar, which I think is probably the most complete movie I've ever seen, because I've never been to a movie where you're angry, sad, happy. I've never seen a movie where all your emotions come out in one movie. And I thought Interstellar is probably the perfect movie. It's not my top 10, but I think it was the perfect movie because it made you feel everything.
Yeah.
But to go out and do something like Oppenheimer, to me, I think is an amazing movie. It deserved every award it got. My number 4 is Christopher Nolan.
My number 3, I will go into the great state of Michigan. And if it wasn't for this guy, we probably don't have the vehicles or anything that we have nowadays. That's Henry Ford.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Now I'm interested to see what your 2 and 1 are.
All right. You're number 3.
My number 3. It's crazy because I'm going into the acting world. I watched a little movie called Apocalypse Now with Martin Sheen, Harrison Ford, who's got a birthday also in July, on the 13th, if I'm not mistaken, and Marlon Brando and Robert Duvall. But to realize that the guy who played one of the few black characters in the movie wasn't old enough to actually be in the military, to be in a military movie, which I still think is funny. But to have this same guy play Cuba Gooding Jr.'s father in Boys in the Hood, and then turn around and play Morpheus in the Matrix movies. The guy who keeps getting mixed up with Samuel L. Jackson, which is funny because they're 20 years difference in age. When you realize that Samuel Jackson's in his 70s, and my number 3 is probably going to turn 60 this year. My number 3 is Lawrence Fishburne.
Okay. All right, my number 2. This is going to excite you or not excite you. I don't know, but I know with the Olympics coming around, this lady helped put U.S. women's soccer on the map. Got some girls playing soccer, just like my niece when she was playing. She played because of this goalie. So one Hope Solo.
Yeah, I saw that one. There was another soccer player too. I can't remember if it was on the 21st, but
All right, you're number 2.
My number 2. I'm going in the acting world. This is where your number 1 is going to drop right down into my lap. Because you son of a bitch. My that's the greatest reaction to that in my entire life. The guy who it's crazy, you know. If he doesn't go to Hollywood, he doesn't speak a stitch of English, and he doesn't go to California to become a governor. Absolutely crazy. It's crazy what he does, and it's funny. He's a Republican who married a Democrat. It's crazy. But you got the Terminator, the Governor, the Predator Hunter, the Commando, Danny DeVito's twin brother. It's amazing. But my number 2 is the Governor himself, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yep, the phrase that pays. I got Arnold Schwarzenegger at that number 2. All right, number 1.
Oh my God!
Number 1. Your number 2. My number 1.
My number 2. Your number 1. Well,
all right.
Go ahead and put that little neon sign back up there, because the phrase that pays is you're not sniping unless you're not trying unless you're sniping. Wait, you're not cheating. You're not trying. You're not sniping. Whatever. My number 1 is your number
3.
Henry Ford.
Yep.
Yeah, you know which one. You knew who my number 2 was.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's finish her up with a couple sad topics, I guess, or memory topics, if however you want to do it. So July 17th, happy birthday again, but these are the people that
Died.
passed away on the 17th. So
poor souls.
I got a minor curveball. I kind of pulled a Tim Hendricks curveball here.
Good job.
So hopefully.
The funny thing is, I knew about most of these people that died on my birthday because I'm morbid like that. It's just, so I kind of knew. But
all right, I will go. I'm going to go 3.
I'm doubled up on a spot.
Okay. All right, how many going?
I'll say 3. I still think 3 is good.
All right, well, kick it off.
All right. It's not every day when your birthday is the reason for a bunch of people dying. Especially a very popular family before the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, and because you're murdered by your envoy in Rasputin. But most people know of the 2 major people that were major people of this family that was murdered on my birthday is first Tsar Nicholas II and Anastasia. My number 5 is the Romanov family.
All righty. All right, my number 5, we'll go with, in the music world, jazz singer Billie Holiday. All right, you're number 4.
My number 4, I'm going into the squared circle. I think I've brought this up a couple times, matter of fact, on our show, especially when it comes to wrestling. Again, for some reason, we like to throw murder around on my birthday. This is going to be the second one, and this wrestler was murdered in Puerto Rico. And if you ever want to see something really, really weird, look up The Undertaker when he talks about my number 4. But my number 4 is Bruiser Brody.
Okay. So my number 4 is my curveball. Pull one out of Tim's hats there that he likes to wear. I got the oldest non-human mammal, I think was the statement put in there. At the age of 78, the elephant Muda died.
Like you put the elephant on. You put the elephant on. Oh man, that's
Okay, Dad, I'm gonna go get ready.
All right. Put these
all
in.
right.
All right, you're number 4.
My number 3.
Three.
My number 3 is my double up.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the half of the phrase that pays.
Okay.
My 1/2, my 3A is your 5.
Okay.
Because I lumped these two together because they dealt with jazz. But my 3B is a jazz trumpetist, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
My number 3 is John Coltrane.
All right. All right. So, well, let's do the phrase that pays. And yes, you bring it up quite a few times when we talk about wrestling or significant people. I don't know how it comes up, but it comes up. But yeah, Bruiser Brody. All right, you're number 2.
What was your 3? Wow. Okay. My number 2, for the longest time, I know he was around for while we were alive, because of course he passed away in 2000, if I'm not mistaken. In the 2000s. I don't want to link myself down to some stupidity. But he is the man who was seen tearing up. And this is the funny thing is he's seen tearing up on July 20th, 1969, when we land on the moon, which is really funny because on July 17th is the day that mission started in Cape Canaveral in Florida. He's also the person who pretty much announced to the world that John F. Kennedy had passed away in 1963. For most of the time, our parents and our grandparents got news from this man. I remember when he passed away, I don't remember where it was, but I know what day it was. It always, for some reason, it always stuck in my head. He was the newsman that gave the news in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. Matter of fact, I think I heard the news that Ronald Reagan had been shot from this man. But my number 2 is Walter Cronkite.
All right, so yes, the phrase that pays, Walter Cronkite. I didn't know all that, but the one reason why I put him there, I knew the name.
Yeah,
is because of Jim Carrey in the movie.
Yes Man. No, not Yes Man.
Where he's
Bruce Almighty.
Bruce Almighty, and he's making fun of him. And he's like Walter Cronkite.
That's the way
Crunkables. So yeah, so that's my number 2. So yeah, so you're number 1.
All right, get ready because it's your number 1 as well. Because it's probably the greatest Detroit Tiger of all time. If it weren't for Pete Rose deciding to break records, and it'd still be his record. And the funny thing is, I think he died in Cobb County. I think he was born in Cobb County in Georgia, which is hilarious when you realize what his last name is. Again, probably the greatest Detroit Tiger of all time. My number 1 is Ty Cobb.
Yep. Well, we
4.
we got 4.
4.
2 together. So, yeah. So that's what we got there. So October 22nd, my birthday.
Holy.
This was brutal.
This sucks. Holy.
I want to go 1, but I think we're going to pitch a 0 here.
I think we're going to go. I honestly think we might. We might. Faith, I think we may go 2. We may go 2.
All right.
Knowing if I got to try to think about if I know if you caught if you caught my number 2 or my number 1 at this point.
Oh, well, we'll see. All right, so my number 5, former Viking lineman, I believe it is, Matt Blair.
He died?
Matt Blair.
Great. And I got to make sure because this is a king. Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
That can't be right. Okay, now I'm got to be a different guy at this point.
October 22nd, 2020.
No, different guy. I'm talking about my different guy.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
No, for some reason. I can't forget it. Like I said, this is difficult. You probably won't hit this one because I can't remember. I know it was October 22nd, but it's not the greatest thing. My number 5, I went with a French impressionist, which means you don't have him. Most of the time, if we had more than 4 people, I wouldn't have him either. That is known for the painting, The Basket of Apples. Like I said, he's a French impressionist. Paul Cézanne.
Okay. Like his work.
Yep.
All right, my number 4, I'm going comedian. Just because I like his name. And that's Soupy Sales.
Oh, I thought you were. I'm like, here we go. He's going to go with my number 1 for some bloody reason.
All right.
This is the one I got a question about. So this is going to. Okay, he's King Ferdinand. Did I find him? No, I didn't find him. Of course, I didn't find him. Why should I find the guy? Okay, I'm going to tell you this. This is the guy is the king of Portugal, but he was the original for the Anglo-Prussian Pact, King Ferdinand I. I know people are. This is the one people are going to fact check me on because this for some bloody reason. Because I sat here for the last 10 minutes trying to find the guy. But yeah, he died. There's 14 of these King Ferdinand I, but he's from Portugal, so. You got to be king, and you got to be the first of something. Didn't realize you had to be 14 of the first, but yeah, there's 4. There's a first.
All right. So my number 3, I'm guessing this is going to be a first for us.
Probably.
So, because I don't recall us ever putting this title on one of our shows, but I got a test pilot.
Nope.
Who also was a NAS astronaut. So the test pilot is a first for us because I don't think we've ever had a test unless we're talking
because I don't think we've ever had. Okay, who's the test pilot?
Paul J. White. And it didn't say he was whether he was a test pilot of, but it's what it was on the test pilot.
Because that's where most of NASA came from back in the 50s, 60s. Was they all came from the test pilot program.
Okay, gotcha. All right, you're number 3.
All right, we're gonna go back to one of our phrases that pays, but this isn't that phrase that pays. Not that phrase that pays.
That phrase? Okay.
You got to be on our show. You got to either be great or you got to be a first of something. I really went Doug for this one. This one took a little work, but this is the first silent film Latino Hispanic movie star, female Myrtle Gonzalez. First of all, you have the name Myrtle. How can that even be Latina or Hispanic? Right. We're gonna get canceled after this next comment, just so everybody knows. But that sounds like a Pokemon character.
Yeah. All right, my number 2. I know technically he was the first, but there's been so many, kind of like your King whatever was the first. Every NFL year, there's always a first NFL draft pick, and I got the one here for the Lions. I forgot to write down the year, but Frank Sinkwich.
Yep. 1945.
Yeah.
He also won the Heisman Trophy. He also won the Heisman Trophy in 44.
For a fullback, too.
Yeah,
All right,
as a fullback.
you're number 2.
My number 2. Well, you got to be first something. And this is the reason why. This is the reason why the America's was the FBI's Most Wanted was created, and everybody thinks it's because of Johnny Depp's character in Public Enemy. Nope, it was created for this guy, a man who was shot in Ohio at the age of 30. My guy is the first gangster who has ever been known as Public Enemy #1, Pretty Boy Floyd.
I almost put him on there, too. God dang it. I knew you were going that way, too. I knew you were going to put him on there.
Come on, please. Give me my number 1. I know
All
you
right.
have my number 1. Please, God, I hope you have my number 1.
Oh, I wonder who it is then. Because my number 1 is a kind of a it's a homer pick for sure.
Oh, no, you went that way. Oh, gosh.
For some reason, like you said, Bruder Brosey always stood out to you, and when it came to people, and this one always stood out to me because I remember up and seeing the news story, and actually I got to meet his mother a while back at a parade. She was doing some campaigning.
Jesus. If you met
And
his
then
mother,
a few years ago, they found his remains, which is kind of ironic. I don't know. So I'm going with number 1, biggest news story of that year, I think, and for 30 years, Jacob Wetterling.
Jacob Wedling. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't have him.
All right, you're number 1. Who did I miss?
All right. You know how we talk about Mel Brooks movies
Yep.
and how they can't be made today,
Yep.
especially one in particular.
Okay.
One movie called Blazing Saddles.
Yep.
You remember the lead character in that movie? Not Gene Wilder.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the other guy. But anyways, okay.
There was the black sheriff, right?
Yeah.
My number 1 is Cleavon Little of Blazing Saddles.
Good movie. Good movie. And you're right. That movie is one of many that can't be made. All right. So I got a quick list here of top 12 worst national anthem performances ever.
And can we go the Hawk 2 Girl number 1 right now? I saw that and literally thought
That's not Hawk 2 Girl.
That was the Hawk 2 Girl at the.
No, it
at,
wasn't. No, it wasn't.
That's not the Hawk 2 Girl?
No.
Either way.
Hawk 2 Girl could have probably done it better. But yeah, she should be number 1. She will be number 1 next year.
That home run derby thing was a pain. I thought at that point Roseanne Barr and Fergie should have a Grammy after their performances compared to that.
No kidding.
Their names are going to be on this list. I know it already. Fergie and Roseanne Barr should be in the top 5, or this thing sucks.
All right, and this came out. Let's see what this list was. This is from Billboards.com.
Okay.
I don't have a date.
Don't matter as long as it's in 2024. Who cares?
Yeah, not 2024.
Even 2023, because Fergie still killed it in 2020, 2021 or something in the NBA All-Star game.
All right, I'm just looking to see if I can find a date, but I can't. So,
okay.
No, I just found it. Oh no, that's today's date. So this ain't. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so the top 12. So at number 12, Jesse McCarthy, 2009.
Was he drunk during that one?
That was at the NASCAR one, sprint NASCAR race.
With Daytona 500, right?
Doesn't say. Just says NASCAR sprint race in 2009.
Okay, it might be the Coca-Cola. It might be the All-Star race. Yeah. But go ahead.
Carrie Helson, 2010.
Where was she at?
Star Springer banner, but the unfortunate rap star performed at the LA Lakers Hawks game in 2010.
Okay.
Forgetting the lyrics.
Oh, yes. I remember that one.
Yes.
I remember that one.
Number 10. The great voice of Christina Aguilera comes in at number 10 with 2011.
She tries to oversing everything.
Yep. Aguilera changed the words of the fourth line,
Oh,
mirroring the lyrics of the song of the second line. Yeah.
That too. That too.
2005.
Ooh.
R. Kelly comes in, and it was for a boxing bout, I guess.
Well, I'm going to
He
tell
tried
you.
to channel his Marvin Gaye, they're saying.
Marvin Gaye?
Yeah.
Oh, they're drunk. That was a great performance. That thing is still heralded.
No. They're saying he tried to channel his.
Oh, try to channel his Marvin
Try to
Gaye.
go soul.
We all know. Okay. I'm going to start making this a comedy show here in a second because we all know what Robert Kelly was thinking while he was singing that national anthem. Never mind.
All right.
I could make this four. I could make this four bros in a hurry.
Number 8 comes in he ties here because it's the same person. 2001, 2012. Steven Tyler.
Yeah, his was terrible. What was he? Where was that in Boston?
He had 2 different ones. 2001, they don't say, but 2012 was the botching the words in the NFL championship game when he just would not stop singing. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. He's from Boston, so I wouldn't have been too shocked.
Yeah. Oh, I'd have to go back and watch this one. Aaron Neville, Aretha Franklin, and Dr. John, 2006 at the Super Bowl.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
No, I thought that one was good. I think
number 7. I have to go back and watch it.
I think Aaron Neville and Aretha Franklin was probably all right. It was probably Dr. John that killed it. I have to go back and look too. That was a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, Super Bowl. Yep. Yeah, the Super Bowl after Katrina. That wasn't in New Orleans. That was in. Yeah, they're saying it was a combination of all 3, kind of.
Yeah, but it was in Miami, I think.
First
that was the Colts. That was the Colts New Orleans game.
Yeah, XL.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, number 6, Scott Stapp at 2005.
Not Stapp. I think he was drunk at the time.
That was the NASCAR 400 or Ford 400.
Yeah, it was. I remember that one.
Top 5.
He was hammered. I remember that one.
At a Boston Yankees game in 2003. In 2003, Michael Bolton.
Really? Yeah, he's gotten what year? 2003.
Yeah. Between the bizarre echo and every line, yeah, that's what they're saying was an epic fail. Number 4, Enrique
Iglesias. Oh my Lord.
2024. So this is recent.
2024. What did he do? What was it?
She.
He.
No, it says she. Ingrid. I'm sorry.
What was the one that just happened?
Oh, yeah, this is the one. Yeah.
This is the one that just happened.
Yeah, this is the one I'm just reading. Yes. The home run derby. Yeah, she butchered.
So that shit should be number 1. I hate to say it, but that thing should be number 1. Yeah. Considering I know who they've got at number 1 and number 2, that thing should be number 1.
Number 3.
Holy crap. Okay.
All-Star Weekend 2018. Fergie.
That should be number 1. That made Roseanne Barr feel real positive after that.
I don't know.
Because I think Roseanne Barr did it twice eventually.
No,
but only one of hers was terrible. No. But I think she did it twice.
All right, number 2, 1990, Roseanne Barr.
Holy smokes, who they got at number 1?
And that's the one where she plugged her ears, I think, because everybody was just booing
so hard. Oh, she was terrible. And she said, "Oh, but it was a joke." I'm like, "Yeah, I understand you're a comedian, but that thing was, you don't joke that one."
Yeah. At number 1, 2008, once a pop newcomer breaks future, Dominican Republic singer during the Dallas Cowboy game, Kate DeLuna.
Oh my gosh. She fell off the
got the lyrics.
Which is hilarious.
The last note.
Think about that. I want people who are watching that to think about this. And you've been to a football game, right?
Yep.
In stadium. I've been to plenty of football games in stadium. If you forget the words and you're trying to sing along, guess what they put on the scoreboard?
The words.
They put the words on the scoreboard for you to, especially if you don't know the words, if you're from some other country, and most people that from other countries don't know our national anthem, they put that crap on the scoreboard. So if you forgot, you can turn your head and look. You have no excuse to forget the words to the national anthem.
No, you don't. You don't. So
who died? You're looking at your phone like somebody died.
I was just looking at some messages. So yeah, he died.
You're looking at your phone like somebody died. Yeah. I'm going to tell you, I have literally looked at my phone every time a notification come up. I'm going, I don't want to break anything. I don't want to break anything on TV. I don't want to break anything. I don't want to be.
Well, ESPN is doing their top 100 or 200 list of 2,000, I think, or something. So
there's 2,000 bad versions of the national anthem.
No.
Oh gosh.
No, ESPN is doing their list of top athletes over the last decade or something. So that's been popping up. So.
Oh, okay. I don't get that.
Well, that being said, Tim, final thoughts.
Yeah. You know what you got it, and I'm going to say this before we go. October 22nd. If there are any celebrities that are watching us, thank you for watching us. First, please like and subscribe if you're celebrities. We take donations. Plus, if you're planning to die. A good day you're not going to die on is October 22nd, because really nobody famous dies on October 22nd. But if you're going to die, please try to not do it on mine. Mine's getting full today. I don't need any more, and I'm afraid to see what's going to show up. But and it was because of this weekend that we did the last two. The last two, because it just seemed like, well, it only seems fair, and it wasn't meant to be didn't mean to be a competition, because I knew people who died on mine, but dude, I've never figured that you were going to sit there and throw nobody on the list. At least, dude, you threw a goose egg out there, and I was like, oh, I'm supposed to pay attention to that. Next thing, it's like, oh yeah, I killed this people, I killed a whole family. And then if you go back and look at some of the tragic things that have happened on my birthday, 2 airplanes went down on my birthday.
Yeah.
Technically, the world found out that John F. Kennedy Jr. died in a plane crash the night before, but they all found out on my birthday. It's crazy. July 17th is not a great day. It's like holy smokes, Lockerbie, the one that blew up, the plane that blew up over Lockerbie, Scotland, my birthday. The one that blew up, that was taken out as it was leaving New York, my birthday. No, please leave this July 17th alone.
Yeah, exactly. So with that being said, happy birthday again
Thank you.
Checking us out on C2C. I know the scheduling and the shows have been inconsistent, but we're working on that. Summer's a tough time for all of us because we got a lot of things going on. But we're sure to be back with On Deck. We're planning that reveal and get our predictions out there like we normally do for the NFL season. With that being said, just keep checking us out. Outside of that, we'll see you all next week on another episode of C2C Rankem. Have a good one.